Okay guys, so this video is especially for the gentlemen. Now, if you're watching this video, you either have a skincare routine, but you're not sure if it's working, or B, you don't have one at all, or C, you're tired of using the same bar of soap that you use on your body for your face. And if none of those are the reasons why you're here, I'm just happy you're tuning in. So let me jump in. I think when it comes to skincare, an anti-aging routine should be really simple in terms of the number of steps and the products being used. I personally don't believe that skincare products need to be super crazy expensive. I mean, we live in a world now where we're just bombarded with all these ads on Instagram with the next product with avocado, snail, fucking, I don't know, anything and everything. But anyways, all I'm saying is I truly believe, and this is based on my own experience, that your product should be very simple and inexpensive. Now, to give you some insight on how I came about this routine, and again, this video is not about me, it's for you guys, but just to give you some background. I recently moved to Los Angeles from Toronto, Canada, about 3.5 years ago. So the change of climate really impacted my skin. Not to mention, at the beginning of my move to the new city, I also decided to get off birth control. So that really impacted my skin. My hormone levels were through the roof, up and down. So it just wasn't the same. So anyways, over the years, I took into accountability to see some really good skincare professionals local to my city, and all of them shared this same basic, simple routine that I'm about to share with you now. Okay, so when it comes to your anti-aging skincare routine, you really want to work towards two things. One, skin that feels good. You want it to be healthy. And you also want skin that looks good. You want it to look pretty, youthful, young, dewy. So in order to get that, based on my experience, there are 4 simple rules that you need to follow. You need to cleanse, moisturize, use SPF, and use a retinol. So rule number 1 is moisturize. Now, our skin essentially acts as a barrier to protect our body and our face from external factors. So what do I mean by that? External factors like irritants, pollutants, bacteria, things like that. When our skin is properly moisturized, that barrier is very strong and it's able to keep those factors out. When it's not properly moisturized, not only is it dry and itchy, but it's also very weak, allowing those external factors to come through, which then will essentially cause breakouts, blemishes, discoloration, things that we don't want. So when should we moisturize? Now, you want to moisturize. Now, I want to moisturize. This is again based on my recommendation. I typically moisturize twice a day, every morning and every night. And I do it after I shower or after I cleanse. Because once we shower or once we cleanse, we immediately strip our body and face from its natural oils. So you want to make sure you use a really good moisturizer to replenish that hydration. So I'm going to recommend 2 really good moisturizers that I really love, and I'll be sure to link the products below in the description box. And know that all of these products, or both of these products, are inexpensive and you can buy them at your local drugstore or at Amazon. Okay, so the first one is Cetaphil. This is the Deep Hydration Healthy Glow. Now, I really like this one, especially for warmer months. Now, Cetaphil is a dermatologist recommended brand. It's non-comedogenic, meaning it won't clog your pores, and it's also fragrance free. So really great if you have sensitive skin. Now, the reason why I really like this one is because of the texture. It's very lightweight and kind of very watery, but I also feel like my skin is getting enough hydration. So that's why I really like using it during the summertime. So that's the first one. Now, the second one is the OG CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. Now, In my opinion, this is the holy grail of moisturizers or simple moisturizers, especially if you're using a retinol, which I will get into later. But anyways, CeraVe is also dermatologist recommended, non-comedogenic, and fragrance-free. What's great about it is it's packed with ceramides. And ceramides are essentially fatty acids that our body is capable of producing, and it helps keep our skin plump. But as we age, we don't have the ability to create so much of those fatty acids. So it's really good when products like this are around because it just replenishes all of that. So I really like this one because it's super, super thick when it comes to texture, but you don't feel like a grease ball when you put it on. So I love using it on colder months. I love using it the morning after a night out. If I've had one too many cocktails and after I cleanse, my skin just doesn't look as hydrated or plump as it normally does. This usually gets me back to that really plump, dewy face. So this is my second recommendation, CeraVe. So rule number 2, SPF. Use sun protection. I can't stress this enough. Now, remember how I mentioned at the beginning of my video that I had just moved to Los Angeles from Toronto, Canada? I remember when I had gone back to Toronto to visit family and friends, one of my girlfriends had said to me, and this is somebody that I'm very close to, had said to me, "Chris, you look older." And I didn't believe her. Actually, I was low-key triggered, but she was right. It was because of the sun. Now, or it's because of the sun. Now, when I was living in Toronto, I will openly admit that I barely protected my face from the sun. I would use makeup products with like a little bit of SPF in it, SPF 15, SPF 20, but I would never deliberately use an independent product specifically for sun protection up until I moved to Los Angeles. My skin has changed tremendously since being out in the sun a lot. So now I'm just very conscious on what I use and how often I protect my skin. Anyways, that is my TED Talk, but let's get into SPF. So like I said, the sun is, well, I didn't say this, but the sun is basically, in my opinion, the biggest culprit when it comes to the aging of your skin. So why should we protect our face, or our body rather, from the sun? It's because the sun projects harmful UV radiation waves. Not only does it make us look older, it will cause blemishes and it could potentially cause skin cancer, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna share a photo with you guys. Not sure if you've seen it, but this photo was circulating the internet for a while. It was provided by the New England Journal of Medicine, where they conducted a study on a 68-year-old man who lived his life as a truck driver for about 22 years, who didn't use sun protection. Now, take a look at the photo. Do you see the side that's really old and wrinkly, kind of looks like leather? That is the side of his face that faced the left side window, so the driver's side window. So that side was exposed to all of the harmful UV rays. Whereas on the right side, you can see that it doesn't look as old. It's much more youthful when you compare it to the left. So something to consider, okay? I really hope that photo scares you. Scared me. So when it comes to picking out your sunscreen, you essentially want to make sure that your sunscreen is broad spectrum and has an SPF of 40 or higher. That's what I've always been recommended by the dermatologists that I've seen. The first one that I'm gonna recommend is Elta MD UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46. So I find that this brand, not only is it always recommended to me by people that I know who are skincare enthusiasts, but also, like I said, dermatologists. Broad spectrum essentially means that your skin is protected from both UVA rays and UVB rays. The number, so SPF 46, that usually indicates how long your protection will last out in the sun. Now, I don't necessarily know the specifics on how that number works and how it plays out. But what I do know is I've always been recommended to go 40 or higher. So Elta MD is recommendation number 1. In terms of texture, it's really light. It doesn't give you that white overcast that a lot of sunscreens give off, and it smells pretty pleasant, okay? Recommendation number 2 is the Obagi Sun Shield Broad Spectrum, and this one is SPF 50. So I like using this one when I know I'm gonna be out for the whole day. One, it has a higher SPF number, SPF 50. 2, it's really thick when it comes to its overall texture. So I just feel more protected. Now, in terms of texture, like I said, it's thicker and you can already tell. A little goes a long way, but when you rub it in, you see how it's taking a lot longer to settle into my skin. I'm not mad about it. I'm totally okay with that. Like, to me, that just indicates that the product is really strong and I feel really protected. Okay, so Obagi Sun Shield is the second recommendation. And gentlemen, I don't want you to be afraid of this one. I'm shaking it so I can show you. But anyways, this is the Ilia Skin Tint, also broad spectrum, and this is SPF 40. And what's great about it, it has hyaluronic acid in it, which is meant to give you that extra moisture. But anyways, the reason why I'm saying to not be afraid of this is because it does have a little bit of a tint to it, and you may feel like you're putting on makeup, but you're totally not. You're just evening out your complexion. So I like using this one pretty often, typically on days where I don't feel like wearing makeup. Guys, this probably won't apply to you, but as you can see, oops, it has a little bit of a color to it. What's nice about Ilia is that they have a ton of colors when it comes to color ranges. But look, when you rub it all in, so it looked really beige at the beginning, right? But once you rub it in, see how it just blended nicely into my hand? I love it. And like, I wish you guys could feel this, but it's really soft and dewy, okay? So those are my 3 recommendations. Elta, again, I'll link everything. Obagi, and the Ilia Skin Tint. Okay, so when should we use SPF? You wanna use your SPF every day, every freaking day. I cannot stress this enough. Even if the sun isn't out, use it. I've been told by my doctor that there are still UV rays out and about when the sun isn't out, so to still use it then. And also too, if you can, you should be applying your sunscreen every 2 hours. So that could be hard if you're on the go, but if you're conscious of it and if you can like leave it in your car, I know guys typically don't carry purses, but if you do, that's great. But if you can just be conscious of that, knowing that you have to apply it every 2 hours, then you're one step ahead of the game. So rule number 2, use SPF. So rule number 3, probably my favorite rule of all, only because I've seen such a tremendous change in my skin since using this product, and that's using a retinol. Now, maybe in another video, I can share my skin journey with you and show you how much this product has changed my skin. But first I'll just get into some high level information. Now, when retinol was first introduced, it was meant to heal or prevent acne. But what they found was that the main active ingredient, retinoid, actually had incredible anti-aging benefits. Some people call retinoids the miracle ingredient when it comes to anti-aging. It essentially unclogs your pores, but it also reduces the appearance of wrinkles, produces collagen, and will help lighten spots. So it's huge. To find a product that does all of those 4 things is pretty insane. Now, when should you use a retinol? I've been told by my dermatologist to use an active ingredient like this, or an active product like this, at night. I've always been told that active ingredients work better when you sleep. The one that I use and the one that I'm going to share with you is prescribed. It's called Tretinoin cream, and I'm using 0.05%. So there are different levels. I initially started off at 0.01, and then after I think 8 months, I earned the rights to use 0.05. So that's how strong it is. I use this 2 times a week, and the results have just been insane. I do feel like I look younger since using it. And now I got my husband on it, and he loves it too. So anyways, like I said, the one that I'm using is prescribed, but there are a ton of retinols that you can purchase at Sephora or CVS or Walgreens or even Amazon. But in the description box, I'll recommend some of the products that my dermatologists have recommended me before they put me on Tretinoin. But if you can get a prescription for this, please use it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Rule number 4 is pretty straightforward. Cleanse your face. Clean your face. If we're going to clean our body, why should we not clean our face? Now, I like to cleanse twice a day, every morning and every night. And cleansing is really important to me because, one, not only am I stripping my face from the oil, sweat, and dirt that it incurs throughout the day, but it also allows the products that I'm using to penetrate deeper. So there are 2 products that I'm going to recommend to you, and these are brands that you guys have heard of. The first one is Cetaphil. Now this is their daily facial cleanser. Now what I like about this one is that you really feel nice and squeaky clean without feeling dry. Now there are a ton of cleansers that I've used where I feel clean, but I immediately feel like I need to put moisturizer on because it just feels so dry. I find that this does a really good job at maintaining the moisture. The second one is CeraVe, again, a brand that I've introduced to you before. This is their Renewal SA Cleanser. Now, I really like using this one on days where it's just super hot out, where I sweat a lot. And the reason why is because it has salicylic acid in it. Now, salicylic acid is meant to unclog pores, so I think it's great for getting out that nasty gunk. So this would be my second recommendation. So there you have it. Those are all the rules for my simple anti-aging skincare routine. But before I leave you, I'm gonna give you the order or the sequence on how to use these products, under the assumption that you have just woken up, okay? So you wake up in the morning, the first thing you wanna do is you wanna cleanse. After you cleanse, you wanna moisturize. Wait a few minutes for the moisturizer to settle into your skin. And then you wanna SPF, or apply SPF, okay? So you go on about your day, and then at the end of your day, when you're ready to go to bed, you wanna cleanse, apply your retinol or your retinoid, wait a few minutes, apply your moisturizer, and then go to sleep. Now, when it comes to using active ingredients or products like a retinol or a retinoid, please be sure to follow the instructions or ask a dermatologist if you're prescribed a retinoid, just because it is a very strong ingredient, okay? So guys, there you have it. If you have any questions, just reach out to me in the comments and I'll be sure to link everything. And I really hope this helped in one way or another, okay? Thank you guys. I'll see you at the next one.